He was a child victim himself, who later turned into an abuser when he became of age.
I had went down to the department to ask some questions about Brittany, and I had revealed what happened to me and everything else that I knew about other people to stop them, to probably to try to shut them down and for them to no longer be able to hurt people or children. It's been a mess ever since, and still to this day. They won't help me, they want me to go to any rehab, they want me to go to a halfway house, they won't let me get no mental evaluations or anything. I'm just a monster to the, I guess,
We work with the ages of 16 to 22. They're the kids that are falling through the cracks of the system, aging out of DHR, foster care. Parents are selling them for drugs, or they're selling them to pay bills and different things like that, and while in prison. This is our mother-baby room for any female that comes in that's pregnant, that's been trafficked, or that's been homeless or abused. And we have a crib that we put up once the baby is born. This is our boys' room. We have 2 boys that are in here, and boys are trafficked as much as females, if not more. They're on the rise. If you're looking at kids that have been abused and that have been basically trafficked, sold, or gave to someone throughout their whole life and gone through that type of trauma, you have to look at reprogramming their mind, because otherwise they're going to stay in the same format they've been trained to be in. It's like parents give what they've been given. If they don't know any better, they only give you what they know. So if a parent has been trafficked, just like in one of the stings I set in on, there's a 54-year-old lady that was in that sting that was being sold. Well, come to find out, her mother was a traffic victim and her grandmother was a traffic victim. It went down from generation to generation and was passed down. So you've got to look at trying to help those kids that have trauma before they get to the prison system. Because there's a lot of people that are in prison that really should have therapy and shouldn't be there.
Based on my research and my study of this case as a whole, I was able to track this physical and sexual abuse back 3 generations within this family.
My kids love to go to church, and they had a great kids program, and they love their youth director. Brittany had a road youth director that they all loved. And he touched me, and they gave it to me. And it was a scrap piece of paper. That's Ronnie. That's all about that, guys. Man 44 gets life sentence for rape of child. Ronald Wayne Robertson receives maximum sentences after multiple convictions for attacking a 9-year-old girl. That 9-year-old girl just happened to be my daughter. Brittany, when she was 8 years old, was raped by her step-grandfather, my mother's husband. I wasn't going to take it laying down. She's a little kid, so the adults have to step in and help these children. So, when I reported it to the police, I had her check rape test, and they found that, thank God, my baby wasn't massively injured, but they could tell something had happened. We encouraged Brittany to go to court, not just for herself, but other kids that may be hurt by this man, and she decided to go really for the other kids. When Brittany got up on that stand, the DA turned around and looked at me, and he said, "We just won." And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Look at the jury box." And when I turned and looked at that jury, everybody in that jury was crying. The judge subsequently, during sentencing, gave him life plus 10 years. And he should die in prison. I remember back when I was in my 20s, it would make Donnie in his 30s, Wendy and Mindy in their late teens, early 20s. Used to all live together in a house. It was my mother, her boyfriend, Ronnie Robertson, Donnie Holland, my sister Wendy that he was married to, my sister Mindy. Ronnie was already offending, and then you had these other people in the house. But we have a lot of belief that this is where it all started, where Ronnie opened the door and showed them how to become monsters.
Did this all seem normal? This abuse that was happening at the age of 6 or 7?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, being at such a young age and somebody that you're supposed to love and somebody that's supposed to love you to teach you things and show you things, I guess, yeah, it did seem normal.
I had one victim who, if a man smiled at her, she thought, well, that means he wants to have sex with her, and she would then pursue it. She didn't know any better.
When you're sexually abused in that way, it feels wrong, but then you also feel an obligation and a love for that person. We have lots of people who report still loving their parents, even when their parents sexually, physically, psychologically abuse them. There's something sort of deep and ingrained in that parent-child relationship, that caregiver relationship, that when sexual abuse is introduced in that, it can have a profound effect on the psychological abilities of that person.
A lot of times, while these orgies were going on, because it wasn't just one-on-one, a lot of times there were multiple individuals involved with these children, all at the same time, all in the same room, all in the same bed for that matter. Oftentimes, Donald Holland was reported to take pictures and videotape these different sexual acts taking place with his children, with these adults. These children had no chance. They led what we would consider to be a normal childhood. There were often times that the victim described when she got off the school bus